Hello everybody, a very, very good morning to you all and welcome back to howtotrade.com. Welcome back to a new week in the markets where hopefully we've got some really, really nice moves and opportunities coming up, and I hope everyone has had a good weekend, a good rest, and is ready for what's to come this week, which is quite a highly anticipated non-farm payrolls week. And we'll talk about the top events and opportunities that I think are in the markets this week in the stream today. Hello to you all across the social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, LinkedIn, and of course in the trading room as well. It is US Labour Day today, so I imagine that the markets are going to be quite quiet, and I imagine there's probably not too many people around on this Monday morning anyway. I think the stock market's actually closed today, so you'll probably notice as well, for those who are in the trading room, our other coach Shane is not in the streaming schedule this week, and that's because he's away on annual leave, having a nice deserved break, so he won't be streaming at all this week. But I've covered up, I've got an extra couple of streams in for this week to cover for those as well. And also I've had a lot of messages coming my way, which would have been for Shane, but obviously he's not here. So I am getting through them as quickly as possible. I've got about 85 messages left. I had about 200 this morning. So I am working through them as quickly as I can. I promise I will get back to you. No problem at all. Hello to Rishab 2023 in the trading room. Hello to you, Wizard Alvin. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're ready for a new week in the markets. Dan, hello to you. Good morning. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a nice weekend and whatever it is you was up to. Who else have we got? Jerry92. Hello. Good morning, sir. Happy new month. Yes, it is. This is our first September trading day. Well, it's not much of a trading day, but it is a new month in the markets, and a happy new week as well. Hello to you. Hello to you, Bobby. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. FaZe Kadara, hello to you. Thank you for the message. Hope you're doing well. Anyone across YouTube, hello to you as well. Thank you for messaging. If you are on the stream, if you are out there ready for the markets this week, then feel free to drop me a message, and I'll be able to answer any questions that you have on the stream as well. Okay, for those of you who have probably been around for a few years or months, would know that on Mondays is my preparation day. I do a little bit of prep on Sunday night, but I spend the Monday stream basically preparing for the week ahead, finding my top events, finding my top opportunities that I think are going to move the needle for this week. So let's do that now. It's not a task that takes up loads and loads of time. You can actually do that on the How to Trade website, and you go over to howtotrade.com and then head over to our resources, and you can go down to where is it? I've lost it now. Our new website. Oh, here we go. Trading tools. Click on that, and if you scroll down, you should be able to see our all of our tools that you can download. But you want really the economic calendar. That will tell us the news events of this week. Okay. What I then tend to do is, you see along the top here, you can basically click on the next 7 days, which is basically the next trading week. And I'm not ever too interested in anything that's low impact. So I'm not interested, no offense, I'm not interested in the Ireland Purchasing Managers Index services, because I don't think it's going to move too much. What I am interested in is basically everything that comes up in this list here. So anything that's high impact, and anything that moves all of the major forex pairs, they're the ones that we're interested in. So what we've got for today, with it being US Labour Day and there's not much going on at all, the stock market's closed today, there won't be any high impact news events that are going to really change too much in terms of the narrative at the moment. It isn't really until September the 4th, which is Wednesday, that we have China PMI data, and then we have our first interest rate decision of the month. And that's the Bank of Canada. And as you can see, the Bank of Canada is actually expected to cut rates from 4.5 down to 4.25%. And it's meant to be the first signalling of a global shift in the policy from what we've noticed, or what we're used to, which is a higher interest rate policy, into a time where interest rates are going to start coming down. And the Bank of Canada is the first central bank to be potentially doing that. So when we look at, if I go over to the charts and we look at the USD CAD market, you can actually see Let me do it. There we go. There's been a quite a significant sell-off in the dollar, which has helped the dollar CAD really trade down all the way down towards 1.345 and as low as 1.344. What do we expect here? Now, there's two things that could happen. This market could be starting to form a base and a bottom, and we could get a little bit of a tick higher if the Bank of Canada are more dovish. We could see a weakness in their currency and maybe a move up towards 1.355. Or this is maybe, if you go down onto the 4 hours, probably a little bit clearer. This is maybe just more of like a bearish flag formation that's forming and a bit of a low volume rally. We may see another push at these lows. Now, when I look at the weekly time frame, you can see last week there was a bit of a pause, but it still ended down. But it did find some support down around that 1.344 area. And if we go and mark a Fibonacci from top to bottom, what you may notice is right at that 61.8 where that golden area is, we can see that initial reaction. And that for me means that, any time this market again comes and trades down below, again, this basically the swing low now, we can basically continue our bearish bias. But I fancy a little bit of a bounce off the back of this, and you can actually see that when I go onto the daily time frame, within that weekly Fibonacci golden area that we're in, if we turn on our smart money concepts indicator, look at the reaction right from a cluster of order blocks, a couple of order blocks in here, reacted really nicely from it. And actually, this could be a solid base, and this could be a solid low that's printed. And what we could see is a move up towards 1.354. So I've been in this trade, to be honest, since last week. Didn't close it out. I've now been in the trade for about 3 or 4 days. I think I entered here at the entry of these, where these two order blocks combine, these blue areas, and in a little bit of profit, not really too much, just sort of hovering around entry at the moment, to be fair. So we'll see how this one goes, and that's really one of my favourite plays of this week, and I might post that one in the trading room in our market analysis section, which, if you don't know where it is, I will show you. Hello to you, Tree Hawk. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for the message. Let me show you where that is. For those of you who are watching across YouTube and all the other social media channels, if you go over to our trading room, which can be found at howtotrade.com, you'll notice that we post market analysis in there every single day. Last one was on Friday. Obviously, we don't post on the weekend, but every single day, Monday to Friday, we'll post market analysis in there. No problem at all. I'll even post a couple of extra ones this week because we've got Shane, our other coach, who's on holidays at the moment. Okay, just quickly before I move on to the next event, really, got some exciting news across Switch Markets, which is our partner and broker. If you're looking to open a Switch Markets account with us, then the exclusive offer here is that we'll match your deposit up to $5,000. So if you deposit $5,000, we'll match that deposit with $5,000 in credit. And you can actually see that that's a deal which is exclusive as of today, I believe. So if you head over to switchmarkets.com, or you go head over and make an account, I can send you a link. And if you head over and make an account with those, they'll match your deposit for you. And yeah, I'll just send that in for you now if you do wish to do so. There you are. Okay, right. Let's head back onto our economic calendars. So that's our Bank of Canada sort of review and what we expect coming up with the Bank of Canada and how they're going to go for it. So if my trade's going to be successful on dollar CAD, I do really need to see more of a dovish Bank of Canada, to be fair. And as we head overnight from, is it Wednesday into Thursday? Yes, Wednesday into Thursday. You can see there's some, data coming out of the Reserve Bank of Australia. So if you trade the Australian dollar, you may see a little bit of volatility overnight heading into Thursday, but not massive. And really the week doesn't actually get started until sort of Thursday afternoon. And the reason I say that is because we have hardly anything in the first half of the week. But this second half of the week, where Thursday kicks in, we've got retail sales out of Europe. And then in the afternoon is when the US data starts to come in, and it really doesn't stop until the weekend. ADP employment change, ISM services PMI coming out all on Thursday, which will have an impact on the US dollar, gold, stock market, etc. We then, as we head into Friday, we've got gross domestic product, which is economic growth figures out of Europe. So again, volatility, but this time in the euro. More Canada news, and of course that comes out at the exact same time as when we see non-farm payrolls, and that's going to be really, really volatile. The estimation at the moment for the non-farm employment change is for 163,000 jobs to be added, compared to that previous really low figure of 114,000. That, because we had such a low figure out last time out, if that figure comes in around sort of the 130s and again remains quite a lot lower than the estimates, then we should expect another push higher in gold probably, and another slump in the US dollar. But if that was shown to be a little bit of a one-off, and we actually get figures sort of above 160, maybe even touching 200,000, then we could see quite a significant rally in the dollar, and that probably will limit what we see on gold. King Akin, hello. I thoroughly checked through your website for the TST resources to download them for MT5. I can't find it. Let me know what to do. Cheers. Okay, right. If you head over to the howtotrade.com, go into our trading room, and when you go over to education, no matter how sort of you get there, you can do it through our academy. You can do it through the website. So if I go how to trade, if it loads, when you click on the academy, it'll basically take you to our trading room, which looks like this. And when you see the courses, if you go on to course number 1, click move me to a new path. And you'll see the 3-trade challenge, right? So the triple screen trading. So if you go on to, module 3, not module 2. If you go over to module 3 here, each time the video speaks about that specific tool, you can download it on the learning resources here. So on this video, you can access the economic calendar. On the market turning points, that's all about the support and resistance tool, which you can see is for MT4 there. The candle pattern finder, you can download for MT4 and MT5. Again, you can download them here along the learning resources. And then the risk manager, you can download as well on the professional risk management tools lesson, again under the learning resources, which you can see for MT4 and MT5. You can download those tools there. We don't have the support and resistance for MT5 just yet. If we do get that in the meantime, if we do get that in the future, I'll make sure I let you know. But yeah, that's how you download those tools. Okay. Hope that helps. You can also go across here to tools, I believe. Not sure, let me check. And over to automation, and yeah, you can see the tools there as well. You've got the risk manager, which you can download for MT4 and MT5, the pattern finder, and also the support and resistance as well. Dan says we've got an order block at 1.3475-ish and the order block at 13510-ish. Play the range. Yeah, you could definitely do that. How much is that? What time frame is that? Oh. Sorry, 2 seconds. My laptop charger's decided to play games with me. Give me 2 seconds, guys. There we go. Oh, maybe not. Got one of those really temperamental laptop chargers. There we are. Yeah, that's all good. Sorry about that. On the 1 hour time frame, Yeah, I mean, it's been an okay rally. My problem is you've got these equal lows down here at 1.3451. Um, and yeah, there is an order block there, definitely. I'm just worried about these equal lows. I'm not. I'm wondering whether we get sort of this, one last push lower before that push higher. Maybe come and grab this liquidity down here. That's what I'm concerned about. That's why I prefer to play the daily, because I'm just taking all of that out of the equation. Jerry says, I wish I can see you physically so you can be my mentor. I want to be like you. Well, I am here, as you can see on the stream every single day. You've also got access to me on the private messages. So if you do have any questions, then you can get in touch with me. King Akin, thank you very much, and thank you for the kind comments there. He says, I appreciate this and I love the work you do, no problem, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'll be here for the rest of the week, of course. So that's really in terms of the events coming out. That's what we need to focus on. So it's a slow start to the week. I think our dollar CAD is going to come in. That trade's going to come to life eventually, and I think that Wednesday's Bank of Canada interest rate decision is going to be the one for that. Other than that, really, the week doesn't get started until the end. But when it does get started, it's going to kick off, I think. And we've got Thursday for that to really kick in that volatility. And I think that obviously Friday, when we've got our non-farm payrolls report, that's going to be the big one. Now, if you head over to the streaming schedule, you can see exactly when I'm streaming. Of course, it's just me coming out. Shane's got his streams in for next week already, so you can see that. But we've got sort of 2, 4, 5, 7 odd streams this week, and one of the streams is going to be covering US non-farm payrolls live. So I'm going to cover that event. I'm going to preview the event for the best trades in the morning, and then I'm going to actually cover the event live as it happens and react to it as it happens on Friday as well. Okay, good stuff. Right, let's just now have a look at some of the other markets, which I'm sure people will have a look at for this week and what I'm expecting. One of them being gold, which had a little bit of a Friday night sell-off. People were on the stream asking about the fact that we had, significant rejections from this area, and we had another one. And this one actually went a little bit deeper, even though previously we'd sort of seen higher lows off the back of that, which suggests to me that the market's been sort of finding it's sort of just ranging. It's just pausing at these highs, right? Let me get rid of all of this. In fact, let me just remove drawings. Okay. Now, what do we expect for gold going forward? Well, I still remain bullish on gold. I think if the dollar does pick up some steam, then we can clearly see that the gains on gold might be limited somewhat. I mean, you might see a deeper retracement down, maybe down towards 2471 if the dollar does pick up some steam. If it sort of remains flat, remains ranging, remains sort of lingering around the lows, that will be enough for gold to really come and... my overriding opinion is no matter what, I still believe that gold is going to come and take out this high at 2533. I find it surprising that we're going to leave equal highs there without coming at least taking the liquidity at the highs before the move lower, which suggests that there may be another move higher coming in gold. But it is the market which is ranging between sort of the areas of 2470 and 2430. And so any significant retracement I'm still looking to try and get involved in, but it's becoming more of like a scalping opportunity each time rather than anything that's directional on the daily time frame. Because if you look at the daily, it's a market which is pausing, right? It's a bit of a flag that's forming. So we may just ping pong between this area this week. It might not be the best time to trade gold. But, of course, wait for the breakout. Look for that breakout higher. So what we will now want to see is a full body candle closure above this 2531 area. Then it could be go time. Or you can risk it and play the breakout before it happens, but that's not the technical way to play it. But I do remain bullish on gold. It's just finding the opportunity isn't as clear as some of the other markets that I've seen at this moment in time. Okay. Also, if you sort of want to mark a fib retracement potentially, from the last low printed, you could argue that we're sort of in a strong bullish market. There's our previous low, and we are within an area, in our sort of golden area, between that 0.382 and 0.5, where we could look to potentially buy gold from here. So that's again another. There's a lot of higher time frame support in play. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, what was the other market I wanted to look at? I wanted to look at oil because it didn't quite do what I expected, actually. Look what happened here. I was looking for this sort of pennant structure, and I thought that maybe we were going to get the breakout higher because we had some weekly divergence. What you can actually see, if I go down to the 4-hour time frame, is you had a breakout lower from this pennant structure. And you can see that, wow, now what's happening is potentially what we could get is a move up to test the 50% of that imbalance and the previous support of the pennant structure term resistance could actually be on for a good sell in oil. And that for me would take oil potentially down below 70. Now there's things that we need to keep an eye on is any news around any ceasefire deal in the war in Gaza. There's been protests over the weekend because of the hostages that were killed. So we need to keep an eye on that because this does have an impact on oil prices as well. They'll only hold back if the ceasefire is agreed. I don't get too much into the politics behind it, but that's what's caused the recent sell-off is the potential for a ceasefire and a slowdown in the economy, which could be confirmed by NFP later on this week as well. Stock market's in a little bit more of an interesting position. The reason the stock market's in a more interesting position is because, again, it's not doing a great deal. On the whole, for me, it looks bullish. You can see that last week was a little bit of a, one day was up, one day was down. It wasn't really too much that happened. We had the Nvidia earnings, which were pretty impressive. But the way the week ended for me sets up the potential for this week to start well, and then all eyes going to be on NFP. And when I say start well, I mean really seeing that move potentially up to 20,100 before NFP comes in. And if NFP comes in weak, and I mean weaker, 100,000 jobs added, say, higher unemployment, I think we set up for a weaker September in the stock market. If the NFP comes in and it's okay, it's not the significant weakness in the labour market that we expected, or that we saw in the month prior. That will sort of squash the recession fears, and I think that will be fuel for the Nasdaq to really have a run this month at all-time highs. That's how important I think this non-farm payrolls report is, because what it will show is, are the Fed cutting rates because they have to, or are they cutting rates because they want to, and because they've seen inflation fall without too much effect on the too much drag on the economy, and that's that soft landing narrative that'll be perfect for the stock market, and we'll see the stock market rise. If NFP comes in really weak, this narrative around the Fed need to cut before they break the economy, that sort of thing, and you're talking about emergency cuts and all that sort of stuff, that will not be good for the stock market, and I believe that we'd see a move lower. So my general view is, for the likes of the Nasdaq, start the week on the front foot because of a good closure last week. But the action is likely to be, when we get that confirmation from the non-farm payrolls at the end of this week as well. Yeah, and what we may see is what Treehawk says, and we may see the markets taking a bit of a breather. Hang on, excuse me. Pardon me. Jamie Dimon suggesting a 50k. Yeah, there's talk of a 50 basis point rate cut, and those discussions will be fueled if the non-farm payrolls report is weaker this week. It's simple as that. I don't believe they will cut 50 basis points, but we do need to see what that report is, and unfortunately it is on Friday. So it may be the markets, as Treehawk says, come into life towards the end of the week, but on the whole, maybe sort of see a little bit of ranging in the lead up to it. So that may just be what we've got in store for us this week. Okay, great stuff. To conclude, markets a bit nervous. a bit tentative heading into this week. I do think there's going to be some action. I do believe it will be elevated towards the end of the week than at the start. I think that the USD CAD could potentially be a really nice opportunity. But again, we are going to need a stronger NFP to really boost the dollar. If not, then it could spell trouble. But we'll see. And I like the technicals anyway. Sometimes the technicals, you have to go with the technicals. And I think we've got a really nice weekly fib retracement. We've got a nice daily order block, a little bit of a reaction. And so I think it could be go time for that dollar rally. But it will be fueled by a stronger NFP. That weaker NFP is likely to send. That's when I'm going to start to play gold to the top side, definitely. I think that gold may be going to the top side anyway, but that weaker dollar will really help. And I think that the stock market will be a bit up and down like it was last week. I think that we could start the week well because no news is good news. And then it will be sort of waiting towards that Thursday and Friday time when we get that job data coming out. So if anyone does have any questions for me in the trading room, whatever like that, I'll get back to you. I've got 100 odd messages to reply to now, so I will get back to you and I'll go through them and spend some time replying to them right away. And if anyone does have any other questions, then feel free to reach out. And until then, trade safe this week, trade well, and I'll catch you all very shortly. Thank you.